What is the Act of 1666?
According to societyandnature.org, CQV Act 1666 meant all men and women of UK were declared dead and lost beyond the seas. The state took everybody and everybody's property into trust.
Okay, it said the state, which would be the U.S. states, okay? The U.S. states. So what they did is they placed all you guys lost at sea, dead at sea, to ensure when John Doe, became a future worker through taxes and wages, she would be paying back the bond. So they did, as they took all of our birth certificates, okay, and they pledged it as an asset to the United States Federal Corporation to play power and attorney over us, all matters and affairs which are public and private. So we no longer own the rights to ourselves. The United States Federal Corporation does. That's why we are under their jurisdiction. So I'm going to show you guys a bunch of legal and lawful documents pertaining to what I'm talking about. But it starts with the Cestay-Queview Act of 1666, which is the Act of Redress. So the next word would be civil liter mortuus, okay, which means dead in the eyes of the law. So civil death, civil liter mortuus, is the loss of almost all rights, okay, civil rights, by a person due to a conviction or a felony or due to the act by the government, okay, which would be the corporation of a country that results in the loss of its civil rights, okay. It is usually inflicted on persons convicted of crimes against the state or adults determined by the court to be legally incompetent because of mental disability. So they have deemed you guys to be incompetent, okay? Wards of the court. Furthermore, incompetent to handle all your matters and affairs, public and private. So they feel that you guys need a caretaker, which would be the United States Federal Corporation, to play power and attorney over you guys. All matters and affairs which are public and private. So they own the rights to you, brothers and sisters. And it started in medieval Rome, okay? This is where this derived from, medieval Rome. Further going along. Disenfranchisement, okay? That's what it is in today's times. Civil liter mortuus is disenfranchisement. It's the removal of the rights and privileges, okay, inherent in an association with a group. Group would be the people that got turned into persons. The taking away of the rights of a free citizen, which would be a free white person, especially the right to vote, sometimes called disenfranchisement. So that's what they did to we the people, disenfranchisement. And who did it? The District of Columbia. All right, under the Organic Act of 1871, you have to understand the United States people, they separated from the Americas and became their own private corporation. So they're a corporate entity, okay? Acting, remember, they operate on policies, codes, procedures, ordinances, acts, actors. So their acting, pretending authority is de jure, okay? De facto. Fake and fictitious. Have to understand their pretending authority. The real authority is the Americas, which is the dominant party. The United States is the lesser, which is the minor, the minority. So that's why when you claim to be from their system, brothers and sisters, what you're doing is you're claiming to be a foreigner, okay? Because that's what a resident is. Anytime you claim to be a resident, which is of their system, you're claiming to be a foreigner. And you're saying that you're not from the Americas. You are from the United States Federal Corporation, which means you're under their jurisdiction. So yes, this is the act that separated them from the the Americas, and made them their own private corporation. So if you look, you'll see that they operate under a municipal government. All right. When I tell you guys, when you get into bonds, which is your birth certificate, it's a surety bond, you'll see that the most damaging bonds are municipal bonds and corporate bonds. And that's because they operate, one, under municipal government, and one under corporation, and two, under municipal government, okay, which would be the federal District of Columbia, which would be Washington, D.C. So what they've done to the people is they listed you guys as persons, which would be a corporate entity, okay, because they are a corporate entity. So they're the parent corporation and you're the children, which would be the minors, the wards of the court. So a corporation is a legal entity created through the laws of its state of incorporation. All right, so they incorporated you guys into their system, which is the matrix. The law treats a corporation as a legal person that has standing to sue and be sued, distinct from its stockholders. The legal independence of a corporation prevents shareholders from being personally liable for corporate debts. So what they're doing is by placing you guys as the person, which would be the front, okay, because you guys are a dummy corporation, and being the dummy corporation for the parent corporation, which would be the United States Federal Corporation. You have to understand they are using you guys as a front because they don't have a license to do or practice the things that they're doing. So they're using you guys as a cover. So you guys are the liable parties, okay? You're responsible for all debts incurred. That's what they have done to we the people. So you have to understand, you guys are not a corporation. You're not corporate entities, which would be a person, non-human entity created for limited legal purposes only. So I'll show you right here. In law, a legal person is any person or thing, okay? Which means you're a thing, people. What is a thing? Any legal entity that can do the things a human person is usually able to do in law, such as entering a contract, sue and be sued, own property, and so on, okay? Because if you are operating within your private capacity, which is the other side of the coin, no one could sue you, all right? And you would know how not to enter into contracts and become the liable party because you would know how to sign and not be liable. So these are the things I'm going to teach you guys in the future. It's how to sign and not be liable, and how to respond to presentments, which are bills. A lot of you guys know it's bills, but they're not bills. They're called presentments. Furthermore, they're statements, a summary of the account. So got a lot to teach you guys. So if you want to tune in, subscribe, give a brother a like. I appreciate it. Peace and blessings to everybody. So let's move on to the next one, which will be legal definition of municipal bonds. Now, I told you guys the United States Federal Corporation, all right, they are going back to, it tells you right here, they're municipal government, okay? So being that they're a municipal government, here we go. You have to understand municipal bonds, okay? Let's break it down. Corporate bonds and municipal bonds. So corporate bonds, they are riskier than government-backed bonds, so they offer a higher rate of return, okay? Remember I told you they operate under a corporation. They are sold by the representative bank. There are the three types of corporate bonds: junk bonds, or high-yield bonds, or corporate bonds from companies that have a big chance of defaulting. So this is the thing, they're placing you guys in default. Anytime you guys appear, okay, like Casper the Ghost in the courtroom, they're placing you. They've placed you in default. You've been placed in default. So you guys have to learn how to respond to these presentments and not become the liable party. So understand that these corporate bonds, okay, people, is what they operate on. When you go inside the courtroom, they're bidding on your bond. Your bond is the surety bond, which is your birth certificate. Birth certificate is surety bond and ensures that when you became a future worker through taxes and wages, you guys would pay back the bond. That's why they have you guys working for wages, so they can tax you guys. It's a business. You gotta understand the reason they're over here in the Americas is because business, trade, and commerce, commercial affairs. Gotta understand what their banner, which is not a flag, it's a banner. It represents business, trade, and commerce, commercial affairs. Every time you guys step outside the foot of your door, you have to understand you're operating within commerce. That's why you require a commercial license to transact and do business. Even when you guys drive, you require a commercial license because you guys are operating within business. You guys are saying that you're a taxi going to and from. Operating as a business. So that's why you guys get pulled over a lot of times. You don't understand you're operating within commerce. Every time you step outside of the foot of your door, you're in a game of commerce. And it's a sea of sharks within this game of commerce. So you guys have to be careful. So on to the next one will be municipal bonds. Refers to a bond or fixed income security that is issued by a government, municipality, township, or state to finance its governmental projects. The advantage of the municipal bonds for investors is the fact that they are tax exempt. Okay, so all these judges that's doing this to you guys, well, they're tax exempt. All the DAs that's doing this to you guys, well, guess what? They're tax exempt. Meaning that the returns from such bonds are not subject to taxes. So they don't get taxed for doing this, for leading you guys into these adhesive contracts. They don't get taxed for this, okay? They're tax exempt for doing Satan's work. So legal definition of a surety bond. The surety bond is like a security deposit. That would be your birth certificate, which would be the long form, vault form birth certificate, not the fake fictitious copy they gave our parents. So with the party promising to do something as the renter and the person they owe obligations to, or obligee, is like the landlord. Thus if the party that made the promise fails to perform their duty, the obligee is compensated out of the bond. So that's what they're doing, people. Once you go default, they're taking the the money, actually not the money, the credit out of your bond. Because everything is not based on money. Everything is based on credit. I'll explain that to you guys in a little bit about the HJR 192 bill, which is Public Law 7310. So legal definition of a birth certificate. A birth certificate is a document issued by a government that records the birth of a child for vital statistics. That's where going to have to request you guys original copy of your birth certificate. It's held in vital statistics, vital records. So tax, military, and census purposes. So tax, people, your birth certificate is used to tax you. I just told you guys. I'll read it again. A birth certificate is a document issued by a government that records the birth of a child for vital statistics. Vital statistics is that birth certificate. That's where your birth certificate is held. Also, tax. Do your TIN, tax identification number, which you guys know as a SSN, Social Security number. So military and census purposes. The birth certificate is almost the first legal document, not lawful, a legal document. You have to understand the wording game. It's a legal document, not a lawful document, An individual might acquire. Your lawful document, as I told you guys, is held at Vital Statistics. You can request a copy of your long form, vault form birth certificate through Vital Statistics. So they are so common that we might even overlook their significance. So this is how you cash in on your family estates, people. Through your birth certificate. I'll give you that part of that game a little later. Have to subscribe to the channel. Get that information, but if you come back, I got you. So, legal address, Understand, people, your legal address, all right? Not a lawful address, your legal address. is used to calculate tax. All right, so in business, remember, everything is business, trade, and commerce, commercial affairs. This is another name for a registered address. In all other areas, this is an address that has a registered street or civic address, including the property's lot number, block number, or district number, or number, and the alike. Okay? So, District of Columbia, people. Okay, this is placing you back under their jurisdiction, under the District of Columbia's jurisdiction. All right? Furthermore, for them to what?